Hello, Stellah. Thank you for coming.
Hello, Gladys. Thanks. I'm also happy to be here.
Great. I'm excited. I've looked for you and I've looked for you for so long. And the reason I've really wanted you to come is every time I think of a resilient person, a
Yeah.
determined person, an ambitious person, I think of Stellah. And
Yeah.
we are going to go through your career and your academic journey. You give us lessons, you give us tips. You work in a very high position as a chief officer of ICT in
Yeah.
Bomet County. So
Yeah.
I think actually maybe we start from there. How did you get that job, and how is the job like? Because you are sitting in a high position, especially as a woman in STEM. So very
Yeah.
exciting. Tell us all about what you do as a chief officer
Yeah.
in the county. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Gladys. I know we've looked for this time. I'm happy that finally we are here to discuss about that. So, my name is Stellah Rotich. Maybe just so that I repeat the name, I'm currently the Chief Officer in charge of ICT at the County Government of Bomet. I think it's been a year plus, a year and a half since joining this role. And my role basically is to oversee the Department of ICT, that is in terms of just normal ICT work, systems development, systems maintenance, making our infrastructure around the county in terms of ICT infrastructure and also equipments, rolling out many systems in our hospitals and also in our county. So that's basically my role. But of course, this being an accounting officer role, I am also an accounting officer for the Department of ICT and an authorized officer, meaning that I also oversee the staff in the department. So, talking about this role, I think previously, of course, I worked in the industry, in the tax industry, where I was working for KRA for like 8 years. And then I also went to the private sector for a year plus before I joined this role. So I think it's been like 10 years in this career in the three companies, and I think so far so good. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Tell us, so on a day to day when you go to the office, how
Yeah.
how is the job like? And I'm asking this so that for a student who is going to study computer science or anything in ICT, they
Yeah.
can maybe see themselves. They can see themselves 10 or 15 years from now where you are. So tell us about the day to day. What do you normally do? I know it can vary. But then
Yeah.
on average, what do you normally do? Tell us about the challenges also that comes with the job.
Okay. Sure.
Yes.
I think as an ICT, I think I'll use more of when I was a developer all the way to now, just being a chief officer, which is kindly slightly different how the day looks like. But as somebody in computer science who did computer science and went into systems development, and I specifically worked in the data part, that is the data engineering and business analytics, mostly in the past. So a day will look like, first, of course, you'll have the projects that you are currently assigned. If you are maybe starting out as somebody in ICT, or maybe also just having a technical role in ICT, so you'll just always have projects that are either currently being digitized or new systems systems already in place being enhanced. So your day-to-day life will be like you have a list of your projects that is either in there are phases of systems development. Either you are trying to collect the requirements for the systems, or maybe you are actually developing the project, maybe with a team. Also team meetings to ensure that you are looking into whether they are meeting the requirements. And then programming. A lot of time is spent in programming and writing code for the systems. And then testing the systems to ensure that it meets the requirements, and now maybe deploying the solution and training the user so that they're able to use the system. So typically that is normally the work of an ICT, as an ICT person or as a software engineer. Even as a business analyst, still that will be the day to day. So most of the time you are running projects that are in different phases of development. And once you always, of course, you always feel wow when you finally deploy and it actually works as you did. So that was my day to day, and that is basically a day to, but it also depends. Maybe if you're working for maybe a government, some people are very agile, and it could be also different. When currently as a chief officer, my day is specifically, this is an executive role or is kind of a management role. So most of the time you also spend in meetings, executive meetings, where the decisions are actually made on what to be done, on budgets, on maybe development plans for the county, and also a lot of partners, looking for partners. This is a government, and it also always works with the public. We also work with the partners, development partners, and private sector. So most of the time you actually spend more time in meetings with these people, and then now delivering that whatever that you have discussed in the meetings now to your team, so that you can actually work on achieving things. So as a CEO, it's not always I can say it's not normal days. They don't always look the same. You wake up today, there's a meeting for the whole day, or maybe you have a specific paper you're working on a policy that you're working on for a week, or you go to the office and you actually maybe meet people from the public, you meet your team members, and most of the time it's just to discuss what the partners have, and also what are the priorities for the county at the moment, and how do we actually achieve that. So that's basically my day to day, I can say, at the moment.
Yeah, that paints a good picture. Thank you for explaining. What would you say so far you said you've been working for 1 year? What would you say is, if you were to pick one challenge, and maybe one challenge that comes with the job, and maybe one thing that is very exciting with the job?
I think that one thing that is very exciting with the job is the opportunity to contribute. The opportunity to contribute in an executive role in mind with what the people not in the table have in their minds. Like having walked through that journey, and then now you come to this place where the decisions are actually being made, and you being able to have in mind how the person behind who you are representing could be thinking of. I think that's the best opportunity I've seen in this role, and also I think also understanding the technical aspect of things, like what is it really needed to be understood, like moving the technical, what can I call it, like the technical knowledge to an executive, where the executive can understand and actually be able to make a decision on. I think that is the best opportunity I've had. I think in terms of challenges, I'll say that systems always bring a lot of changes. I can tell you that automating processes and also digital transformation in an organization comes with a lot of change issues. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that I've faced, and it's not only here, but I think most of the time in my role, where you are digitizing, you are bringing in systems, and change is not something that's easy for any organization or any person. So it's one of the biggest challenges that I can say is, and of course also the resources, so many needs, and also the resources so you always have to quite prioritize on what is important.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for sharing on that. Talking about contribution, and I know you are always, and we'll talk about it, you do so many things to empower and to reach out to inspire youth, especially women and girls. But there was a session that you were organizing last year, and then some things happened, and then we didn't go through it. But talk to us about those opportunities for young people, in terms of opportunities to be inspired and to be mentored. Talk about opportunities for them for, I don't know, at their internships at the county government, at their tenders for the young people. Talk about all those things, mostly just geared towards young people, and how do they know about these things? How do they go about knowing them and applying for them?
Sure. I think that's something that I'm really, I can say, mentorship or this empowering people is something I've been really passionate about, and I think I've been doing it for all these years, just trying to balance between the work and also being able to give back. What are some of the opportunities, maybe, for example, that are there in the county for the youth? And we had one forum that was a Bomet Youth Conference that we are just trying to discuss with the people for them to know what opportunities are there with the county. I can say that in terms of our tenders, there's normally a percentage for the youth. Like when you're giving work, there's normally, when you are doing our procurement plans, you normally say that this will consider the youth, this will consider the women, and this will be for everyone who wants, or maybe persons with disabilities. So there's normally a percentage on for youth to be able to check on that. So, but again, what we normally find is that most people who look for work, like who are entrepreneurs, they are always the same people who maybe they have been in the industry for so long, and you find that maybe young people haven't registered companies, they haven't maybe pre-qualified to be able to supply the work. Maybe so what we normally do is, we did, after the youth conference, we had a group of people. We had a database of 1,500 youths. So we used the same 1,500 youths to send message to say that, are you interested in digital opportunities? Are you interested in entrepreneurship? Are you interested in being linked to the job markets? And the job markets meant the internship or the attachment. So there's normally attachment with the county where you just apply with the department, and then you can actually come in and get attached. I think at the moment we don't have an internship for those who've cleared, but we have attachment. So one opportunities is the tenders, and it is always in the website. So when you look at the tender as a youth, you should just be able to just look into those requirements. And as a youth, I'm sure that having some specific work that normally belongs to the youth, you have the opportunity to be able to maybe show your company so that you can be given the work. In terms of attachment, again, if you are interested in getting attached to the county, you always apply. You also have in our website a place where you just say, I'm interested in attachment in this department. But in terms of other opportunities that are there for the youth, personally, I believe that it is going out there and actually looking for the opportunities. There are so many people right now. We normally say that so many unemployment rates in Kenya, and we have most youths who have actually graduated and are looking for work. And you just ask yourself, what can make me to get these opportunities out there? So it's all about skilling yourself to ensure that you actually have the right skills to be to have an upper hand in terms of when there is few resources, few jobs or few opportunities that comes, is being so skilled. I normally say be so skilled that you will be number one if there is only one position, or number two position that will be there. Another thing is also the knowledge or the know-how of these opportunities. Some don't know about these scholarships, the opportunity, even the job boards. Like maybe you are just waiting for maybe a newspaper that will have some positions, but nowadays we are connected. We live in a very connected a world where WhatsApp groups, we have all social media groups where we actually share these opportunities. So one of the key things that I've been doing myself is just looking for these opportunities and sharing with the right people. Like just if there are groups in our village groups, in our community groups, just ensuring that this knowledge is out there. And if there are websites where they can actually benefit. I know we have job boards, we have scholarship boards, just ensuring that these youths actually know. So I normally encourage them that ensure that you subscribe to as many as you can. And then also in terms of maybe helping them, some of them share their resumes, you just review and see, do they really fit to what they're actually looking for? And sometimes you actually see the opportunity to help these people. So normally I do mentorship, like a one-on-one session. Somebody wants to improve their CV, if they are in IT or software engineering and they want to be able to fit into a certain role. So sometimes I also do that one-on-one. But most importantly, Gladys, when it comes to empowerment for me, I think it's been about the foundations, like when you are coming from high school. So I normally really like mentoring the high school students or the primary school kids, because I feel like there's that culture that comes with, this is what I want. Like you now start wanting and seeing what you really want. So talking to the young people and telling them that education, of course, is the equalizer. You have to work hard in school and ensure that you get the best of it. So I think it's been a lot of trying to do all those so that we improve or we empower our young people. But for sure, it's a space that I think there's a lot that we need to do. We need still to even mentor, to hold their hands so that we have a better future. Yeah, I don't know. I think that kind of summarizes. There's so many things going around that youth and mentoring. Yeah.
It does. Tell me about. I wanted to confirm, there was a virtual event that was geared. It was just for ICT or IT students. Do you?
Yes.
I don't know if you do it annually. Do you plan to do it this year?
Yeah, I think we wanted to do physically. It was the Bomet Tech Forum, if you remember. I think we've been talking about online work, remote work, digital opportunities. But then when you go talking to these youths, they ask you, like, what is it like? Now demystify. What does it actually mean to actually work remotely? So the Tech Forum was supposed to bring in the people who actually work in that space. Like, if you already, like when you wake up, this is your job. You just wake up to a remote role, or you do your remote gigs, and then you actually get paid. So what I wanted to do at that moment, and the team in ICT, we wanted to connect now the people who want these opportunities to actually who are experienced in these fields. So we had brought in a team of remote workers. They were to come and actually show practically how did you actually apply for these remote roles, what did you to do to actually get jobs, so that you build a profile. If it was building a profile that actually gets jobs, what was it about? We also wanted to bring you on board, remember Gladys, so that you share, because at the end of the day, even this scholarship, these opportunities, these you also having come from around, and then you've gone all the way to Oxford, and where you can. So I wanted you to also come and share the stories with these people, the young people that we have, so that it kind of creates a network on what did you do for those who have already done. What did you do best to be able to be where you are, and what can they pick from you? So the tech forum, we didn't do. I think it was because of the challenges that we had in the country at that moment. It was supposed to be physical, but we are going to be doing it annually. But I think I'm considering it as doing it virtually, because I can imagine the people who work remotely, they will also want to share these things remotely. So so it's something that I'm also planning, so that we can have the same goals, same everything, but of course remotely. It's also taking the advantage of the digital space, and to be able, we can meet as much as possible. And also with the people globally, I'm sure you are currently somewhere in another country, and somebody else is in another country, and they wish also to share the same. So I consider, I'll do the tech forum again, but this time round we are going to have it virtually. And also our department of youth will still do also the, I think, Bomet Youth Conference, which brings them physically now.
Okay. I was asking about that because I found it super
Yeah.
interesting, super commendable, Stellah. Amazing work so far. Yes, so I'm looking forward when you organize the next
Yeah.
one. I hope I can make it virtually. It will be virtual, but it's an amazing opportunity. Yes, and challenge to the young people that there are all these opportunities. So be on the lookout and take advantage of them. Attend, network, and grab those opportunities. Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, so we will go to. I'm excited. I'm excited for us to go to your academic journey, because you are pushing. You are breaking glass ceilings all over, Stellah. You are pushing and breaking things. So we will go to your. I want us to talk about your masters. You are currently on your way to PhD. And then we'll talk about we met during our bachelor's degree. We were doing sports, so we'll go to academic journey. But before we go to academic journey, I wanted to touch briefly on how was your journey especially post undergraduate. How was did you struggle to get a job? Once you got the first job, how did you progress? At some point, you like you mentioned, you work for KRA, a prestigious position. I think many people want to work for KRA, especially IT guys. So how did you land that job? How did you thrive? How did you present yourself to be on top of the game? So just talk about that career journey between just before your current role, and then we will talk about your academic journey afterwards.
Okay. To my current role. Okay, so I went to schools around. Of course, I went to my village school, that is Mingit Primary. I went to so many primary schools though, and then I went to Moisengre Girls, where after that I was admitted to do my computer science degree, which I went for 4 years. Maybe so that maybe I'll go in details on that maybe on later. But I graduated in 2014. The end of 2014. I don't know whether we graduated together, but I think
yes.
I don't know whether it was the same year or it was
It was the same year.
Or it was a year. I thought engineering is more years, right?
Wait, oh yes, we graduated 2015, but we completed in 2014.
Oh, okay, yeah, so, yeah,
Yes.
sure. So I graduated in 2014, and that was November. And before graduation, I remember I had gone for the Grasshopper Celebration of Women in Computing, and just immediately before graduation, just that time, you're just waiting, looking for a job. So I was out there giving out my resume, just trying to look for a role in the big tech companies and everywhere. I even had an Excel where I'm just applying and saying applied, and then what is the process, which date was it applied, which country is it. So I was applying for roles, and then during that time I had applied for the graduate trainee program at KRA. So the graduate trainee program is where you take in recently graduated or almost graduating students so that they can come to you to KRA, and then they train in for 1 year to become tax people. So I applied for this, I think, in July of 2014. So we were just waiting. So I had gone to Grasshopper, and then when I'm in Grasshopper, I was actually interviewing, I think, with another company, I think Zendesk or something. And then I got a message that you're supposed to apply to attend this physically. Like you're supposed to attend an interview to come interview to become a GT. That is the graduate trainee at KRA. So I was so excited. I was now in between. Now I was looking for these big tech companies, and now I have already gotten like this opportunity to also come to interview. So I was so lucky that I made it back because the interview was so few days and I was so far away then in Arizona. So I flew back, and then I came, and then I interviewed for the KRA. That was like an online assessment. Is it the online assessment? We went to KU where everybody was going, like 2,000 people coming there, and then we are all looking for these 100 and something posts, and we are over 2,000. So I came, I did the assessment, and then after I think a month or two, we also got interviewed physically. And funny enough, before I graduated now in December, and then this is January, I got interviewed physically, and then I got the job. Like I didn't really even stay out there looking for a job. So I graduated in December of 2014, and January I got the job. I got the offer letter at KRA. Was it January or February? I think just 2 months. Within 2 months I was able to get. But even before that, I had already interviewed also for an internship with the ICT authority. And I had already started. So I got the internship. It was called the Presidential Digital Talent Program, where we were being taken also through the management trainee. And then I think it was January, February. And then end of February, I got KRA, and I'm now in between choosing. So I was so lucky. Sorry, I think I can just say I was so lucky to have the two opportunities. So I was in ICT authority, and I had to choose to go to KRA. So I chose to go to KRA because of, I think I just look at the opportunity. KRA, once you finish the graduate trainee program, you are able to be taken in as an officer. And I think the other one, I was just going to intern for a year, and then after a year, you keep looking for a job. So I had to lose the other opportunity and go for the KRA one. And during that time also, I also got to become an Akili Dada fellow. So where I was implementing a program with the young people and the women in my community, training them on the digital skills, computer skills, that was. And I think that's how I ended up getting my role. So once I joined KRA, we went for the graduate trainee program for like 2 years. Is it 2 years? No, 1 year. It was 2 years before, and then during our time it was reduced to 1 year. So that was 2015 all the way to April of 2016. So where we were trained on all the tax issues and tax components. So I got the job. I went in for the training for 1 year. And after we finished the graduate training in 2016, I chose, now we are choosing either to go to customs, whether to go to domestic taxes, or whether to actually go for what you want. So I think I was just like, I think I still want to work in the ICT part of. I still felt like I really wanted to use my computer science more than just to see how. So I requested that I didn't want to go to customs, I didn't want to go to domestic taxes, and I wanted to be posted somewhere. So I got posted in the data team, where we were working on the data warehouse and business intelligence solutions for KRA. So, and I stayed there. I actually now started growing from an officer in the data space. I became a supervisor in the data space. I became a business analyst along the way. and just more focused into data science and data analytics and data engineering. And until 2022, when I was a senior business analyst, then I decided to pursue other opportunities. So I went to Isuzu East Africa, where I worked as a technical business analyst for 1 year and a half. And then I got this role now. This is kind of an appointment role, but you still go through the interview, still apply through the County Public Service Board. So I applied for this job. I was feeling like there's so much also that I want to give back in my home, to see how we can have systems working and also empower young people to be able to actually maybe get into this field. So I decided to come to the county as a Chief Officer ICT. I think that's been basically my journey, but there's also been around after graduating is all about building my skills in the areas that I wanted. I like, for example, when I was in KRA, I took a lot of courses around data science, around data engineering, because you always got new roles coming up and you think that, this is what I actually wanted to do. So I went to Strathmore. I did data science course. I went to university. I did some deep learning nano degree, just to understand what this AI, machine learning, and how we can use it in the organization. So I also did this. I also did my certification as a certified business analyst. So I think that's been really just trying to build where my domain is, until where I am now as a Chief Officer ICT. So I think that's been my journey in from campus to where I am. I think it's been like 10 years or 11 now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for painting that clear picture. I love your story, and I think what I'm picking, and I hope my audience, especially the students, are picking, is this constant desire and hunger to keep going.
Yeah.
Don't be satisfied where you are. Like, keep adding skills and asking, where do I want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, and what kind of skills can I get? Now, talking about, and I really commendable, Stellah, because I know you are balancing so many things. You're balancing family here, you're balancing work, and you're balancing education. Super commendable, and you are a role model for sure. You now talking about the trainings, you recently graduated from masters, and congratulations. So tell us about what you did for your masters. Where were you studying? How was it balancing work and masters? And then tell us about your PhD, your plans for PhD. You told me you are planning to start PhD soon. Why do you want to do a PhD? Speak around that, yes, and then we will wind up.
Thank you, Gladys. Maybe you'll tell me why I should actually do now that you have done it. I'm just feeling like I should do. In 2020 or something, that I enrolled for a part-time master's program at the University of Nairobi. I did a Master of Science in Computational Intelligence. That was during the time of COVID. We were still having physical classes. I think it was the 2019 class of 2019. I joined the class, and then COVID happens, disrupts everything, the physical classes, everything, including work. We are just trying to do things. So I managed to do the class. We did the class for kind of physical for like a semester or 2 semesters, and then we had really a virtual semester all out from home during the COVID period. So I was still working for KRA then, so I used to finish my work at 5 a.m., walk to Chiromo, go to class until 8 p.m., and then walk back to town, and then you just go home. So I think it was an interesting part, because I think it became kind of a routine, just going to learn after work. That is I took the journey of people who go to class after work. That was until 2020, and then now I got assigned to a very, very, I can say, a demanding projects that I had. So I kind of took a break. Like, it wasn't possible to go to class. It wasn't possible. It was a really demanding job that I had from 2021 to 2022. I think it was like for 2 years. So at that time, I kind of took a pause. That's why I'm normally saying, like, sometimes when you are doing the work study, it can actually take longer than 2 years. So I took a break because the job that I was doing at that time was really, really highly demanding. So after that, after that, I went back and now did my project. So I got a supervisor and did my project, and I graduated in 2024 with a Master of Science in Computational Intelligence. So I think balancing is a way of just saying that use what is normally allowed, because you find that the classwork, especially most of these universities, are very flexible. It allows you to say that, okay, I'm not so busy this time. You actually do your classwork. If you are so busy, it also allows you to tell your supervisor that I don't think I'm available now to do my project. So you're actually able to actually balance between your work and study. And again, remember, after 8 p.m., I go back to my family, and I have also to be with the children and also with my family. So it was all about just trying to align with that and see what can you push in, what time can you push in some weekends to do your assignments, can you do in some late nights so that you're able to cover, because the next day again, remember, it's work, and in the evening you could be having some assignments for class. So I think that was how I managed to be able to complete my masters. And maybe this is also an encouragement to the people who are actually working, who maybe want to further. Sometimes, there's full-time and then it's also part-time. So you also decide, do you really want maybe to take a study leave? Do you want to just go in the evening? But again, this also depends on, I think at that time, Gladys, I was in Nairobi. So it was so easy. So you can imagine, now I'm looking into studying a PhD, and now I am based in Bomet. So this is also a lot of thinking through how do you manage to be able to be in class, and again, you are far away from the university. So, but it's actually possible, because I was able to get that last year. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe into PhD.
Yeah, it will be yes, talk about the PhD. And congratulations on the masters, computational intelligence.
Yes,
wow.
Thank you. I'm more into more now, specializing more into AI and machine learning. So that's why I took computational intelligence. So it's more of artificial intelligence. My coursework and everything, my project was around AI. So and that is what I'm actually also going to further in my PhD. So I'm also going to do, still looking between about 3 programs that I've applied into, on which best suits, especially the project that I'm planning to do, and then also which is around AI also. So I am really looking forward to starting my PhD soon. Hopefully either May, or it was supposed to be January, but I think the intake is in May. So I am just looking forward to doing the PhD, because the reason I want to do my PhD is because number one, I believe until you finish what you really, I really like learning about anything about this computer science, and I feel like I still want to still learn more, to still go deep. Sometimes you feel like there's so much that you can learn as you further. Why will you have advanced education on a certain subject? It's because I feel like you can really become deep in some specific aspects of the course. Like for you, I know it's engineering, and for me, that computer science. How do you really get deep into that? And also I want to join research. So I think being a researcher, an AI researcher, a field that I'm really interested in, is something that makes me think that a PhD for me is really, really important, especially in that area. Yeah.
For sure. And I wish you the best, Stellah. I'm sure you will definitely manage it. I know you are resilient, so you will definitely manage it. You should read. I don't know, did I give you the PhD journey book?
Now this is the right moment for that. This is the right moment. I think I'll get it, and then I will share with me. I know I had thought about it actually this year when I was applying. I was like, I need to look at that. Okay, sure, I'll appreciate. Thanks. I need to read that now before I go back. Yes. My day one. Okay.
Yes. Just so you hear, I wrote my own stories in there, but also I have around 10 friends of mine who contributed their lessons, and they were reflecting back to when they were starting their PhDs. They completed, and I was asking them to look back to when they were starting their PhDs and just share 3 things they wish they had been told. And oh my goodness, it's very interesting when people look back. And then when they are sharing those lessons, I think you will learn a thing or two. But it will be nice. I know you are totally capable. And And it will be an inspiration, because I don't know
Okay.
if from your village, if there are many people who've gone to the far you've gone, especially women, right?
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, it will be an
Yeah.
inspiration, I know. It will be an inspiration
Yes.
even to my family. I know nobody has maybe done the PhD. And also to the young people who actually looking forward to also progressing. So it will be an inspiration. I'm looking forward to it. And
Yes.
I'm looking
Now,
forward to get to learn from the book. I know I'll pick 1, 2, 3 that will make me my journey to be the best.
yeah, for sure. I'll send you a copy. I'll send you a copy. So let's talk. Actually, before we wind up, we need to talk about undergraduate, just for the sake of
Yes.
my guys who are in undergrad, or
Yeah.
those students who are planning to start their undergraduate journey or university college journey. Reflect
Yeah.
back to undergrad time. We did a lot of extracurricular. We used to meet in this athletic. We used to
Yeah.
meet during athletics a lot. So reflect back to that time, and just maybe one piece of advice to the students who are currently in undergrad. What can they do to maximize or optimize
Okay.
opportunities there?
I think my undergrad was normal when we went to the university, just spent the 4 years at the university. But I think one of the key things that I think where even I met was participating in sports. I was actually an athletics captain. So I went to the University of Eldoret, that is in Eldoret, that's surrounding the city of champions. So I was an athlete there. I was also playing netball. I was saying some of the things that I also doing beside academic, but also in my academic, I think it's all about for the students. It's about using the opportunities. Sometimes it becomes normal just going to class and then just doing your cards and doing all that. But I think what I can encourage them is also look out for what can you do. Can you volunteer? Can you go mentoring the high school students? Can you also do other things? What can you add into your resume or your CV while you are at the university? So some of the things that I actually took myself was first to join the associations. You remember those associations like Computer Society of the university. I think also we have like people doing networking, Linux administration. That is for computer science. But I'm sure for many courses like it's education, you have education associations, you have engineering student associations, you have also your community associations. Yeah, it's good to join those university associations and communities because you get to learn about some of the things that are happening. You get to build networks. You get to have a group that you can actually discuss into your academic journey or some of the opportunities within that space. So I think that is what I used in the university. I was able to join the sports association. That is where I also became an athletics captain and also represented. I think we met in Dar es Salaam, remember, for the East African University Games. Remember, we were running, we were running 100 meters, but I think I was a long distance runner. And it made the undergraduate to be quite interesting, also being able to do other things beside the academic and being an all-round student. So I'll encourage the students who are in the who are either also going to university or who are already in the university to also always be looking out for what can you do, what can you do in your spare time, what can you add onto your things that you can do. So I think that is what and also trying to be the best. I know Gladys, you got a first class and you were able to even get your other scholarship. So sometimes you don't get to know what this working hard at the undergraduate can do later. Like I'm sure even for me during that GT, like the GT program I got immediately after graduation, it's because they look at your transcripts. So from the moment you go into the university, it's all about ensuring that your grades are good and your studies are up to par, like you don't have missing marks and all that. Because anytime you are applying into an internship or they always factor in those things. And also they always ask you, what else do you do besides maybe having the other grades? It's also maybe you mentor students, maybe you also have leading in your maybe churches or your religious groups. So I think those are the things that I can really encourage them to do, and to always ensure that you are learning into, I can say, a workforce ready person. It's not just ensuring that you also just passing and you don't really see what exactly would it mean being a teacher in that field. Like even when you're choosing the courses that you're taking, when you are choosing the specialties, like for example, for us, you were choosing whether am I taking more hardware courses or more software courses. So because I was looking into data courses. So if you are looking into becoming a software engineer, then you can take in more software engineering courses. If you are looking into becoming maybe a data person, looking into taking more data courses. So there's so much of, at the university, always look forward to what do you really want to specialize in later on, and then see whether you can have the foundation of the courses at the university. And I think, and also working hard and being a person of open-mindedness, so that you're always ready to change. Things change, and you also be able to change with things that are coming up. So I think that will be my word. Yeah.
Amazing. Anything else we forgot to touch on, Stellah? Otherwise, I would want you to reflect back and tell us one lesson you've learned, because you come from you came from, I want to call it small schools, as we call it in Kenya, especially in high school, and then you've made it all the way. You've risen and you've broken glass ceilings. Reflect back to when you were in high school, or when you were young in the village, and where you've come now. You are sitting in a high position, and like you mentioned, you are contributing to decision making, which is incredible, especially as a woman in tech. What is one lesson you've learned? What would you tell that Stellah, the young Stellah in the village?
I think the one lesson I've learned, which is the biggest, I think for me, I think education is an equalizer. Like, I'll just repeat that to just say education is an equalizer. It doesn't matter the small schools. It doesn't matter the small background you are coming from. It doesn't matter how rich or how you average was. If you're able to access education and educate yourself and get skills, I think there will always be something for you out there. So I think that will be my one thing. I'll just reflect and say this has been my key thing that has really walked me through all this journey. Like, coming from my high school, also joining to a good I can say a good school in high school, and also being able to join university, and also taking in the resources, just using what I had to educate myself, to get skilled, to the moment where you are actually even being able to be referred by somebody. That I can imagine that a friend of mine, if there's an opportunity, said today in a room full of people, somebody will mention and say, I think Stellah can achieve that. So I always feel that educating or skilling yourself is something that I've learned along the way, and it will equalize you, that you don't need to, it doesn't matter where you're from or what you're doing. If you educate yourself, then you'll be able to get what you want. And now there's also, maybe just so that I can say my younger self, what I've learned in the workforce is that it always, right now, it's more to what do you bring to the table. Like, you may become so skilled, you become so educated, and then now the other point is who wants you to work for them, or even when you're working for yourself. It's all about what you bring. So I think one parting shot is always be so that person that has something that offers value or impact the society. I think then everything will be all good. Yeah.
Amazing. I 100% agree with that. That education can be an equalizer. I know sometimes opportunities might lack here and there, but for sure, it's better to have those skills and use those resources to set you apart and give you an upper hand. So thank you, Stellah, for creating the time. It's been a pleasure. We will end it there. I'm sure you are a very busy woman, so I appreciate you creating this time to be here.
Thank you so much, Gladys. I also appreciate you taking the time. I am so happy at least you have been able to do this finally. So bye, and have a good evening or day.
A good evening.
A good evening.
Thank you so much.